finalists. NDUMISO right now usengayibiza nge-finalist Mr. South Africa.
That's dope.
But then yeah,
dope.
Yeah, Mr. South Africa in the house.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a professional as well. I have a company, but we will deal with that later. But yeah, I am an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and my name is NDUMISO SHEZI. I come from Nkandla. And I'm an entrepreneur. Passionate about it, and yeah, we're pushing it, bro.
All right, so bro, tell us what's going on. Here now you from South Africa,
Mr. South Africa.
And then what's happening?
Man, actually, right now I actually entered a competition near Mr. South Africa. Obviously, I mean, many guys will know I'm a model by profession. I'm a professional model. And then also, as I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I was like, you know what, I have to do something because we sit down, we discuss things, you know, we always have conversations. Abantu bayayazi, conversation over coffee. Even how it started, it was here, just like this. These are conversations that we always have. And they have impact and goal. More than millions of people have benefited from these conversations. Especially with what you're doing, Malose, is too great, man. Siyabonga Hlaba. Impact isizwe.
So tell us why did you decide to
enter the competition?
Yeah, man. As I was explaining, we always have conversations, and these conversations sometimes they are too important that you feel a need. You know what? I think the world should hear and listen to what we say. The world must have a platform and listen to what is being, said on all these conversations that we usually have. So it is very important for people to get the nuggets of wisdom, because there's a lot of wisdom. In the conversations that we have, we can see impact is and we know there's still more that we can do. So what made me to enter Mr. South Africa was that I needed a national platform where I can have a conversation, continue these conversations. Umalusi is also continuing with the conversation, the conversations over coffee. I've been working with adolescent boys, emakhaya le eNkandla, eSithumba, kwaNyavu. But I mean, all of those things I'm doing them in a very small scale. So with being Mr. South Africa, I was like, you know what? There is actually a platform that can assist me to have these conversations everywhere and allow them to spread. And the impact that it had even on me, it impacts everyone. It changes everything, the mindset and all of these things. And then it also opens up, in fact, as men, we have a responsibility and we have a duty. So with Mr. South Africa, I think that's a great platform to actually have this conversation on a national level.
I think it's a great thing, bro. I mean, more than anything, we need a bigger platform, for these conversations to be held. So much, the journey, bro, right now, you're on the top 10 right now. What has it been like? Because we think, the conversation, you need a platform to speak. So you just can't pay this into finally pause la camera, shooting a A-list. Is it about that, or what is it? Because I'm going to Mr. South Africa, Romeo Kumar, cheese, you know what I'm saying? Besides the looks, well, we are
I mean, besides the looks, but you know how important the looks are. Because that's the first point of interaction. Whereas in social only, they will just look at you first. So the conversation is I think the conversation is now izokwazi ukwenza umuntu akwazi understand ukuthi why kahle kahle.
Sure.
So as I said previously on the answer level terminal, I had a cause, something that is defining, of which that's my why. I need to actually have a conversation or continue the conversation rather with adolescent boys, because this is what I've been doing. I need to continue the conversation at all levels, because clearly there is a problem, especially amongst them. So those problems, some people are not even aware. Some of them, they are suffering from the very same problems that men have as their issues, and they face them on the daily basis.
100%.
But abanye bayakho ngisho aware ukuthi they are facing challenges and problems. Hence we find inkinga eziningi eziza nalokho.
Sure. Obviously, I mean, Mr. South Africa is a representation of South African men. One of the challenges that we have in South Africa is the output of gender-based violence. One of the factors being ukuthi abantu abasha they lack role models. So when on your journey, Mr. South Africa, how would you change that or have an impact into that?
So there's a problem.
Sure.
The problem esinayo, many of our men in South Africa, they lack a male representation in zabo. So that is common throughout. You go to umfana omncane ose primary, umfana osakhula ose high school, umfana ose university, umfana osesebenza, and then we go all the way to married men. There is a challenge, there is a problem, and inkinga ke zonke mayiqala ziqala kwi-level yomndeni. And from a family point of view, it spreads out to the community. From the community, we have a nation. So right now in South Africa, we know over 60% of families, they do not have the male representation. You know, in South Africa, we have over 2 million children that are unfathered. You know, in South Africa, we are actually rated number 2 in the world in terms of suicide. It's a problem, it's a challenge. That means there's a problem, you know. And right now we're talking about gender-based violence. But clearly there's something more than gender-based violence, because it's the upbringing of a person. Where does the person get their influence? Where do they come from? What are the values they have? Have they ever had a conversation with a man? When we say 60% of South African families lack male representation, you can check the first-time home buyers. Those are all females, and they have children. So who is raising these kids? You know. So by me getting into Mr. South Africa, I wanted to perpetrate something else that is different. The conversation of saying, man, we have a challenge, we have a problem, we need to fix this, and we need to be responsible, and we need to be held accountable as men. So this platform of Mr. South Africa has the ability to actually spread the word. You know, with all these conversations that we usually and normally have, millions of children, as I said, with over 2.1 million in South Africa, are unfathered. So who is the voice that they are listening to?
That's a good question.
You know?
That's a good question.
What influences their behavior? Because we know that for a person to behave in a certain manner, for a person to think, you know what, umama ngimshaya, or usisi wami ngimshaya, or intombi yami ngiyayishaya, it's not something that just came out of nowhere. There is a base.
Sure.
You know, there is a base, and this is where we say all the social ills that we have in South Africa they are a result of lack of representation of men, lack of mentorship. You know? So this is where I'm coming in again when I say I need this platform and I have to work on it. You know?
Say male naturally, or men naturally don't talk about challenges they face. They don't talk about the problems. And we as collector indoda ikhali.
Yeah.
Do you have a different perspective lezo zinto?
Well, from my upbringing, I would say the perspective is almost the same. But over the years, we know now, we are learning to understand that there are some things that cannot be implemented the way they were. The world has changed, everything has changed. The systems of the world have changed.